Hello, welcome back to my haunted library. It's Regina. Hope you're doing well. Hope your Halloween season is going well. Mine is going so well that I didn't even get to do a video last weekend just because I've been so busy. I know, we're all busy. But I tried to add a little bit. I don't know if you can see some orange cobwebs in the back. I mean, my library looks pretty much like Halloween all year, but I always like to add a little something. And then I was a sucker for this at the drugstore. It was marked down, but wait, I gotta turn it on. I don't know if you can see the glowing eyes. We have our raven on top of our skull. So this was my addition to the library, and probably gonna put it up on the shelf between my Poe pictures, but I'm gonna turn it off for now so I don't forget and run the battery down. But whoops, oh, it goes red too, and then green. Doesn't come up on the video too well, but anyway, not bad. Always like to add a little something. Make sure you remember Batilda's Halloween specials coming up next week. Halloween falls on, I think, a Thursday. Usually I go to a party, but I don't know what I'm doing for Halloween night. Probably just doing trick-or-treats with the kids. But I wanted to go over a couple things today, kind of a laid-back day. The weather has been amazing. I took Lucky for a long hike yesterday, so still a little sore from that because we walked about 4.5 miles. It was beautiful, and I will be doing a video about that. It should be up on Patreon soon if you want to become a patron. It's one way to support the library. I post videos there about once a week, and they're just more like laid back, chatting, walking, little reviews of things here and there if you're interested. And also, every time I have a new release come out, you get a free book. Speaking of new releases, Halloween Haunts is still doing well. It's been #1 in that new release category for a couple weeks now. Kind of goes back and forth, but I've been selling this pretty well, and couple reviews are trickling in. I did do a giveaway last week, which I sent those to those two ladies. Both of them were overseas, so I don't know if they'll get them in time for Halloween, but you can enjoy the stories all year round. So if you haven't yet, check this out. It's only 99 cents until the end of the month, as are all my other books. So if you've ever wanted to read my books or have been curious or pick up a couple ebooks that you don't have, only 99 cents until the end of the month. And also, don't forget, Bookworms. We still have a few copies left. Gotten our first reviews in for this, and people really like it, which makes me happy. My co-editor for Bookworms, James DeFeo, and I recorded this morning a podcast for the latest Right Brain Cafe. If you'd like to check that out. We had a really good time recording that. We were talking about how to start like your own challenge, like your own NaNoWriMo. You don't need NaNoWriMo. Nothing against it. I decided that I've done enough NaNoWriMo. I'm going to start my own challenge for the month of November, which I'll talk about more as I put it together in my head. And maybe you'll want to join, because my purpose for that is to write a new work, a new novel, the first draft, for the month of November, as I usually do with NaNoWriMo, but this time I'm going to do it myself, and I'm going to throw up some different rules, and I'm going to invite any of you who are curious about writing or want to write a novel or always wanted to write a novel and haven't done it yet, or maybe you're a seasoned writer and you just need a little bit of kick in the pants. We'll talk about that more. But he and I did discuss these types of things. For example, he's doing, and it's great because I've been participating, he's doing his Pencilween again this year, and now he's going to extend it into November. And what's it called? No Pen November, something like that. It's been fun because I've been drawing and I've been enjoying it. If you're on Instagram, you can follow this hashtag. Okay, so what else? I did the giveaway winner. Oh, well, Harpies in the Trees, Merce from Harpies in the Trees put up the podcast called The Back Cover, which she and I did together. She interviewed me for her new podcast, which features authors from the East Coast, and I was her first interviewee. Honored to be part of it, so do check that out if you haven't yet. It's a video, and also You can just listen to it as a podcast, and we talked for about an hour. It was a lot of fun. I told a lot of stories, some that I maybe never told here before. I don't really recall, but you should definitely check it out. And Merce is great if you don't know her channel, which I'm sure you do because it's a pretty big channel. It's nice to see her back in her element, being creative and doing videos. Speaking of joining things, I know I've waxed and waned about Wattpad, but I decided to remove my story Final Dress from the first draft of that from Wattpad. It didn't get the make the short list of the Wattie, so I was a little disappointed, but it's okay. I've already won a Wattie award in 2021. I really don't need another one. I think I was just kind of clinging to old habits, so I pulled that off, and now I am editing my new book, Final Dress, and I'm really excited because it's all about the theater and the things I love, and it's funny, and I'm drawing with a lot of my experiences from working in the theater for so long. That should be out. I'll list a pre-order in November. My goal is to have that out before the holidays. So excited about that. So even though I've been busy, I did manage to read a few books. So this was from my TBR that I put together a couple weeks ago, and I'm working my way through it. This is a Gothic romance that's been on my shelf for a long time. House of Doom, House of Desire by Shannon Wagner. I love that cover. It's really beautiful. It's a classic woman running away from the castle cover, and I love those blue colors. This was actually really good. It was kind of more like, there wasn't a lot of romance in it. It was more like a mystery. It was like a classic whodunit. This woman who's very wealthy, and she lives in this beautiful estate. And this is an American story, but it kind of felt like an English story. It felt like an English detective story almost, or like a mystery. She and her friends are called to visit her rich friend who owns this estate. And when they get there, their friend isn't there. And but a handsome guy who has a little cabin in the woods, who also works in the stables, is there. And of course, a mysterious housekeeper, because you always have to have that mysterious housekeeper, that Mrs. Danvers type of lady. She's also in the household. And their friend is found, and it's not giving anything away, but their friend is found sacrificed in the woods on an altar, as if some pagan ritual happened. Which I was a little shocked at how graphic, like how much like gore was in the story. And then it becomes a matter of, well, who's behind this, and weird things start happening. So, like I said, not a lot of romance, but there is a little bit of romance. But this was fun. I almost feel like maybe this was a mystery that was edited to be more like a Gothic romance, because I do notice that's a trend, because these books were very popular back in the day, and I'm hoping to bring them back because I've written a few Gothic romances, some paranormal romance type of thing, but I want to lean into the Gothic for my next work in progress. Not Final Dress, but the one I'm going to do in November, if that makes sense. Okay. I feel like my hair is in my face today. Sorry, I do that a lot. Another book that I read is called Attack on Sasquatch Valley by Jason White. If you're familiar with Jason's weird reads, he has a wonderful YouTube channel. He's also an author. And this is a short collection of short stories all about Bigfoot or Sasquatch. And I really enjoyed this. He sent me an art copy, and it was a great read, very entertaining. I liked how all of the stories kind of worked together. There was a lot of like overlap in the stories running through. The first story I was familiar with because it's in Lurking in the Dark, one of the AuthorTube anthologies that I edited. So right off the bat, I was like, okay, I know the story. He might have expanded it a little more. It felt a little more involved as I was reading it, but it was really great. Let's see what else I had to say about it, because I really did enjoy it. Oh, I really liked the Canadian feel. I really got a sense of, I know Jason lives in Canada, got that sense of, I almost could feel the Canadian Arctic air kind of blowing down the back of my neck, especially in a couple of the stories. It was really good, and his characters were great, and there was a certain like kind of empathy for the Sasquatch, which I also thought was very good. If you like anything to do with Bigfoot, I think you will enjoy this a lot because it adds to the mythos in a very cool way. Great job, Jason. I really enjoyed this collection a lot. I gave it 5 stars. And then I'm almost finished with a book that's another ARC. This one I found on Twitter, and it looked right up my alley. It's called The Folly by Gemma Amor, and it is very gothic. It's about a middle-aged woman who's a little bit of an unreliable narrator type, and her father, who just got out of prison for pushing her mother down the stairs. And I'm not giving anything away. That's the premise, how it's sets up, and she's worked really hard and has sacrificed a lot, including her own happiness, to get her father out of prison. And because it's a notorious case, they don't want to stick around their homestead, so they rent, like they're caretakers of a folly, which is this old tower, an architectural folly, which I love. As soon as I saw that title, I'm like, anything with a folly in it, I have to read. And so they are staying at this folly, this tower, and weird things start happening. And I'm about 60% in, so when I finish, I'll let you know what I think. But I really am enjoying it a lot so far. Okay, I think that's it with all that stuff. So I went to the thrift store and found more books. In fact, I bought a lot more than I really intended to, and they were all cheap. So I know, and they all have stickers, which really suck. But I'm not going to try to touch them now. Like all these books were like $1 or $1.50 each. I did find another copy of Misery, and this one does have the very cool book cover for the Misery books. I wish it were in a little bit better shape. It's a little ripped, but I was happy to find it. This one, I've never heard of this book, but it definitely has a paperback from hell feel to it, and this is Nightlife by Jack Ellis. We got yellow eyes and yellow fangs. I'm guessing this is a vampire book, but let me see. Your Worst Nightmare. I can't really read it because there's a sticker covering the text, but it looks pretty cool. This book, someone put like nail polish on. Why? And again, a sticker. This might need a little loving care, but every time I see a V.C. Andrews book, even though I have it, if it has the step back cover, I buy it if it's cheap, because these are still pretty hard to find. This is The Gates of Paradise. This is a Castile family saga. This book is another one that I have, but again, it has that really cool cover, so I thought I would buy another one since it was cheap. This is called Black Dawn by D.A. Stern. And it has a monster, and then it has another like demon of some sort. So this is like a 3-part cover. Pretty cool, huh? So I got that. And then I found another V.C. Andrews one. I got a couple V.C. Andrews. This is another Castile story. This is Fallen Hearts. I just love those pictures. Okay, and then this one, I don't know why I got this, except it looked cool. This is Frank Yerby's Benton's Row, a 4-generation novel of the South. Has a nice dust jacket on it. Looks like it's from the 50s or even the 40s. There's our guy. I have a few books like this in my collection. Hardbacks like this with the dust jackets, so I do read them every once in a while. And this one is called The Gabriel Hounds by Mary Stewart. Looks like a nice gothic with a stupid sticker on the back. I have a feeling that's going to be really hard to get off because it's on the dust jacket. They should just list like a sign, all books on this shelf are $1, that kind of thing. Doesn't make a lot of sense. All right, this one, I don't think I have this. I have the series, but I don't have the omnibus in hardcover. This is the Shooting Stars series collection, Falling Stars by V.C. Andrews / Andrew Niederman, with a very cool artwork and an annoying sticker. And this is the entire Shooting Stars series. So I have the paperbacks, but this is the entire series combined. in 2 hardbacks, so that's pretty cool. And this one, I couldn't resist. I have this series in hardbacks that were from a library sale. So they're not in the best shape. They're old library books, but those are the library books I remembered when I was a kid, so I couldn't resist. But this is a nice box set of the Lloyd Alexander's Chronicles of Prydain. This was my favorite fantasy series when I was a kid. It may be my favorite fantasy series regardless, because I love it so much, and I may reread it again this winter. Last winter, speaking of Jason White, Jason and I were going to do a read-along for Fantasy February, and I started putting it together, and then all that stuff was happening with my family, and I really had to pull out of that, unfortunately, that read-along, and we thought, well, we'll do it again. So maybe we'll do it again this February, which is just coming up in a couple months, and I'll do a little reading of Lloyd Alexander, which I love. This is something, sometimes I just find something cool in a thrift store, and I have no idea what it is, but I just buy it because it looks cool. And it was, what, like $1? This is some kind of graphic novel. Ashley Wood Dirain to, is that? It's a provocative artwork right off the bat, but it looks really cool. I have no idea what this is, but if you have any idea, let me know and I will do a little research. But I just thought, wow, this is really neat. Last but not least, how can I resist this book? This is called The Other Side of the Rainbow with Judy Garland on the Dawn Patrol by Mel Torme. Nice hardback version with the dust jacket in pretty good shape, except for that sticker. I suppose this is Mel Torme's Memoirs of Judy Garland. Has some really great photographs in it, and I'm a big Judy Garland fan, so one of many. So I had to take a look. This is more than an exciting chronicle of an incredible theater experience. This is the warm, objective, compassionate portrait of a great singer and actress at the time of her last important moments of triumph. So this looks really good. Mickey Rooney said, Mel has the guts to relive the story our hearts were too full to recall. So I'm guessing this is kind of before the end for Judy. She's on the other side of the rainbow. This was published in 1970, and this is the first edition. It might be a rare book, I'm not sure. But I'm really happy to get it. Here she is with Barbra Streisand. I was, of course, familiar with Judy Garland from, like everyone else, every other child, The Wizard of Oz. But then as I got older, I started watching her movies. There was a very popular series of films, I think there were 2 of them, in the 70s that people have kind of forgotten about, called That's Entertainment. I never see it on TV, but it was a movie, like a theatrical released film that dove into all the old Hollywood musicals. So you had Judy Garland and great dancers and Gene Kelly and all this stuff, and Fred Astaire, and then there was a follow-up called, I think That's Entertainment too, or something like that. And I love those movies, and we had the records and we used to play them all the time. So I really got into those old movies and old musicals with Judy Garland and all the rest. So I'm really looking forward to reading that. So let me know in the comments below what you've been doing for this month of October, what you've been reading, maybe seeing some scary movies. I have, which I'll talk about next time, because I saw a Hammer Frankenstein film, which I really liked, but I think I'll save that till my end of the month wrap up. But anyway, let me know what you've been doing. I would love to hear your thoughts. So that's all I have for today. Thanks for stopping by my haunted library, and I'll see you soon. Bye.